everybody. Welcome back. Wednesday night edition of Inside the Headset. We're live and on the air. Our sponsor tonight is John Jones, John Jones Real Estate. Going to roll over to Knoxville. Going to get into another private school. We've got with us the co-head coach, the head coach of the defense, as it may seem, of the Knox Catholic Fighting Irish, head coach Philip Shadowens. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Doing great, doing great. Still at school, but fixing to leave, doing great.
Well, Coach, came to Nashville, battled against Innsworth, and things didn't square out too well. 38-14. Talk to us a little bit about it.
Yeah, played a really good first half. 14-14. They hit us on a play with like 35 seconds left, where their kid out jumped our kid in the end zone for a ball. So we going down at half 21-14. Still feel good. We'd given them a couple scramble things. We'd give them a short field a couple times. So I still felt good about where we were. Felt like we were, in great position. And of course, they got the ball to start the second half. We held them 3 and out. And then we got the ball, and then we threw a little comeback route. They had a kid step under it and throw a pick six right there. And so it makes it 28-14 pretty quick. And unfortunately, we have a five-star. We have an unbelievable snapper, a long snapper. So we have to punt the ball, and our long snapper is the only bad snap I've ever seen him have, and he snaps it over the kid's head, and they get the ball on the 1 foot line. And we actually hold them there. Play great defense. We hold them. We knock them back to about the 15-yard line, and they kick a field goal to go up 31-14. And then we had 2 more turnovers there in the third quarter. So it's just one of them crazy quarters. I don't know. I've seen it one other time. When I was at Smyrna, we had a quarter like that once. We had 4 turnovers in the third quarter. And so, when you do that, obviously, you don't have much of a chance to win a football game. And we battled the entire time. I thought, gave great efforts, which is a given at Knox Catholic. Our kids are always going to give that. But it just wasn't our night. The bottom line, you can't have those kind of turnovers. Give them credit. They forced the turnovers. And we just, didn't do enough to win a football game. Thought our kids battled, thought we had an opportunity to win, and unfortunately for us, it just wasn't a good night for us.
And when that happens, it's tough to tell a kid. It doesn't matter, and even a professional baseball player, it doesn't matter whatever it is. When the tape or the string or whatever you want to call it starts unwinding, and it snowballs from there, it's hard to put the fire out and then regroup and then get yourself together and score a bunch of points or runs or touchdowns or whatever you're trying to do, or goals or whatever, to get yourself back in the ball game where you're competitive, because it's spun out of control so quickly, so fast, and it's hard to keep, because you're running out of time too. You're running up against a clock or innings or whatever.
Right. Yeah, sure. And you think about it, when they get the pick six to go up 28-14, that's maybe not even quite halfway through the third quarter, probably 9 minutes left in the third quarter maybe. I mean, they went 3 and out. We threw a pick six on the second or third play. We had it, and, now you're down 2 scores. We were still, you still feel like, okay, we can still do this. But then we have the bad snap. They get the ball on the 1 foot line. We go out and play great defense right there on that possession, but yet they still kick a field goal. They make it, a 32-yard field goal, whatever it was. And so now you're down 3 scores, and now you're probably 4 or 5 minutes left, maybe in the third, and you come back out and you have 2 consecutive fumbles on consecutive possessions. One of those, they get it on the 29, they score. The next one, they get it on the, I don't know, maybe our 40. We hold them to nothing. But it was one of those deals where now you're down so many scores. How many more possessions are you going to have?
That's exactly it. Yeah.
The kids start pressing on offense. They know they got to go score. You got to go fast. They know you're going to throw the football for the most part at that point. So and they have no pressure. You've taken the pressure off them, and you've put all the pressure on you when you get down. You get down more than 2 scores late in the third quarter. Then you kind of start pressing. You try to tell them, you got plenty of time, relax. But human nature sits in, and then the wheels kind of come off because you turn the ball. We had a kid, 2 kids that fumbled there after that. They never fumbled the ball. We work ball security. Steve does a great job at ball security. Probably does a better job than anybody I've ever coached with ball security. But the bottom line is sometimes things happen, right? I mean, the best backs in the world, even then the ball will come out, and so that happened. It was just one of those deals where we just never could get it turning back in the right direction, and not from lack of effort, not from just our kids just leaving it all on the field. But the bottom line is you just can't overcome 4 turnovers in the third quarter. You can't
Well,
overcome, and we didn't play good enough defense in the first half. We did a lot of good things, but we gave up 2 scramble routes where they threw it over the top of our head when the quarterback was scrambling. I call them just throwing grenades, and they made 2 plays over top of us, and that's 14 points. That's 14 points, and so we didn't play good enough. We didn't coach good enough. We didn't do well enough to win a football game. But at the same time, anybody that was there at the game could tell you it was an unbelievably competitive game, but just the wheels came off for us, and we couldn't overcome it.
well, and the flip side of the tape, and we've only seen it happen a few times. But I was with you one night at Brentwood. You end up scoring 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to come back to win it, and you did it against Independence with Jawan Jennings. And I wasn't at that game, but I listened to it as you go in but that, like I said, in your coaching career, you can name off the top of your head you've been able to put the airplane back together, get it up off the ground, and actually go on and win the ball game. It's just like you said. Once certain things start to twist out of control, it's real hard to get 15, 16-year-old kids motivated. But they got to have a lot of good things happen to them. They got to have a little luck, and and some things kind of have to develop, and it's just tough to make that all come together in a storybook presentation. But at the end of the day, you learned what Ensworth's all about. You know what it takes to beat them if you catch them again. But it puts you in a position to take on a Briarcrest Christian at home, 2-2. What do you think about Briarcrest Christian?
They're in our league. They're not in our region, but they're in our AAA league, and they played one interleague game. They played David Lipscomb. Lipscomb beat them, I think, 42-20 is what it was, or 42-21. I think they missed their extra point. Maybe it's 20, but they competed hard with Lipscomb. We know Lipscomb's a big time program, a high quality program as well. So it's going to be another challenge for us. They got an unbelievable tailback. They got a left-handed quarterback that throws and runs it well. They bring a lot of pressure from their defensive side of the ball, a lot of blitzing. So it's going to be a challenge, Now the challenge for them is they got to drive, 6 hours, 6.5, ever how long it takes to get from Briarcrest to Knoxville. So that's a long trip for them, and it's kind of crazy. It's a regular season game, that you got to drive that far for a regular season game. But it's our homecoming, so a lot of things going on here at the school. A lot of the kids are excited about about the game Friday night. Our kids are we had a great week of practice. Friday night was a crazy physical game. Both sides of the ball. It was crazy physical, and we were really sore, coming in on Monday. We did a lot to try to work out the soreness on Monday, Tuesday. We got back to hammering them pretty good today, and they responded really well to that. So, we're looking to play our best game of the year, to be honest with you. Think about the game of football, and we all know this, and this is just kind of coach talk, I guess, but it's how you respond to adversity. That's the first time we've been challenged. Thought our kids, played their tails off Friday night. I was proud of that. But now it's time to get back on the winning track. And so, it's how you respond when it's going good, or it's how you respond when it's going bad, So, our response to 3 wins in a row, our kids worked really, really hard. Now we're going to see how our response is from losing the football game. And there's only, I think, one team in our entire league that's still undefeated. I mean, everybody's lost a football game, because you play good schedules and you beat up each other and all those kind of things. So at the end of the day, I would say nobody in our league will be undefeated. And so now it's time to get us back on track. Our kids are excited to kind of get back on the field. So I can't wait till Friday night. Ever since about Saturday morning, about 7:30, that's all we've worked towards. And I like what we're going to try to get accomplished on Friday. I think our kids like our plan. Our kids understand what we're trying to get accomplished. So now it's just going out and let's get this thing going back in the right direction. And I think if we play like we're supposed to, that'll happen Friday night.
If you had to give some leadership awards to those just really hanging in there and keeping their composure from last Friday night's game of Ensworth, who would those guys be, Philip?
From the offensive side, it starts with our quarterback, Jaden Neal. He's a junior. He's a talented kid, and he didn't play. He didn't have his best game Friday against Ensworth, but he is a crazy competitor. Throws it in, runs it well, and so from the offensive side, it starts with that guy. And everybody knows we have two special receivers. One in Tyreek King, he's a sophomore, been offered by everybody in the country basically, and the other one is a senior, Braylon Harmon, who had 160 something yards receptions against Ensworth, and he's a kid that's committed to Wofford, and he's the fastest kid I've ever coached. I've coached some fast ones. I mean, he's probably as fast as Marcellus Johnson, the kid who went to Tennessee, and you remember Marcellus, but he's Braylon may be the fastest kid I've ever coached. He's just got crazy speed, and so it starts with there on offense. On defense, we do it by committee, but it probably starts with our inside linebacker Bryson Gardner. He had 13 tackles, I think, against Ensworth.
Wow.
He could have had 19. That's what I tell him. I mean, I'm proud of how you played, but I told him that on Monday after when we watched a ton of video. But on Tuesday, I said, "How many tackles do you think he should have had?" He said, "Probably 19 or 20." I said, "Absolutely." So as good as he played, we know he can even take another step forward, and that's what I expect. Another kid, Grayson Goodell, also plays inside backer. He had, I think, 8 or 9 tackles, some big time tackles for loss. Keelan Smith, a defensive end that's getting under recruited. He's a kid that comes off the edge, is basically unblockable at times coming off the edge. He's just a special player. Maybe our most dominant defensive player is hurt. He got hurt halfway through the game. Actually got hurt in the first quarter. We didn't know that. He kept playing through it. He got a little plantar fasciitis going on. He's an inside guy named Antory Hamilton. Just unblock. I mean, he is an unblockable kid, but he played, a whole half without us knowing he was hurt. He didn't want to tell us. And finally, in the third quarter, it kind of gave a little bit. So he may or may not play. We haven't decided that for sure. He's still in therapy. But it starts with those 4 kids. I'll be honest. It starts with those 4 guys. And those guys, are our bell cows on the defensive side. We have some other really good players over there as well, but it starts with there. The one I didn't mention, he's a kid that plays tailback and outside backer for us, is Quincy Parnell. And Quincy is a senior. He was a big-time player. He probably weighs $175. He plays about every play at tailback. He plays every play at outside backer, and he just makes play after play after play. And so, I mean, I'm happy with where we are. I'm happy with how we practice. I'm happy with how hard they play. It's just a matter for us to just go out and play again. I mean, sometimes things go bad. We know that. You watch college football and pro football. I mean, that happens. Every Saturday somebody plays bad and somebody plays good, and turnovers cost you things. And we know all those things. And so it's not any different in high school football. Things went bad. Kudos to Ensworth. They beat us, but things went bad for us. So now it's time to right the ship, and our kids are excited about that.
Well, and you got 6 more games. Got a lot of time to get better, and it'll all be about November, Coach. I mean, it'll all be about the second season. I mean, you play these games, and you don't want to rush through them. You want to enjoy each and every one of them. But it's all about the second season. You know that, and I know that. And we've been there, and the taste or the feel or the momentum or the little river run you get on. It'll be about that when it gets down to week 10, won't it?
Oh, absolutely. And to be honest with you, we're off next week. It's not fall break for us, but it's fall break's the week after that, and we play at the NBA. But excuse me, but we're off next week. So after Friday night, we're 2 weeks until we play again. So. We want to go into that 4-1. We want to go into that with some momentum so we can use next week to heal up bodies and get better at some little things that we're doing. And then, get ready for NBA the week after that. So our kids are excited. I think they're excited about having a little bit of a, body break. We've kind of been going hard for about, 10 weeks now, I guess, counting all the practice. And so this is a great opportunity for us to have a week off, next week. So let's go into this thing being 4-1. We'd rather be 5-0, but we can't do anything about the past. That's why God puts eyes in the front of your head instead of the back. So you got to look forward. And so let's go on this thing being 4-1 and having a week off to just kind of clean up some things and then get ready for NBA in 2 weeks. So that's what we're looking forward to, and that's what we expect. And I'd be very disappointed if we didn't play our best game of the year Friday.
Coach, good luck Friday night against Briarcrest Christian. We'll be following that score, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you so much, Stuart. Appreciate it.
See you. Bye.